crime boss John Gotti has been sentenced to life in prison with no parole.
It took them 7 rats that killed 100 people to finally frame me.
Gotti is finally caught on tape. And then betrayed by his underboss.
We played chess, and he lost.
Gotti Sr., who died in prison 9 years ago, was a ruthless gangster who craved celebrity. The son, if you're to believe his story, wanted out. And John Gotti Jr. wants people to believe his story.
Hey, what's up, guys? I just wanted to take a quick second and remind you, please give us a like and subscribe to American Made.
This process doesn't work. It's akin to you writing a script, and the script is not written by the person that's speaking. The script is being written by the person, the author, the person who's writing it down. The 302 process regarding myself, my mindset at that point was basically one of two things. Okay, I knew the government knew that I was no longer a member in the life. I was no longer a street member. I was no longer in the life. I knew they knew that. But it just, for whatever reasons were, I became this symbol. Maybe the symbol of my father. That they wanted to showcase me and convict me or try to flip me. So it made things so complicated. So what I had done was I told my attorney, I says, look, basically, Jeff Lippman at that time, I says, Jeff, I says, make a meeting. Make a meeting, I want to talk to them. He said, what are you going to talk about? I said, what's the difference? I'll handle it. You just make the meeting. I know it. I'll handle these people. He said, John, it's not going to work like that. You do it, they'll take the meeting. Sure enough, he says, look, I don't know what's regarding, but my client wants to come in and talk to you guys. You're kidding me. They were like giddy kids on Christmas. Yeah, he wants to come in and talk to you guys. We'll make the appointment right away. He did. I was brought over. I had court that day, and after court, they brought me upstairs, and we go into this office, and there's an agent in there, there's a prosecutor and a paralegal and other assistants there, and my 2 lawyers are there as well. And he says, Mr. Gotti, what do you want to talk about? And I says, look. And we begin to talk about material that was basically between 16 and 31 years old, okay? And it was nonsense. It was ridiculous material. In fact, there were people that were involved in a bar fight that died before the bar fight. There were people that did not exist, okay? And this is something they could have easily confirmed, easily checked out. If you look at it and you knew I was flim-flamming the shit out of you. And the whole idea behind it really was that I thought in my heart, by just being there, is saying, look, I'm not a street guy anymore. Maybe my lawyer can get a good plea deal for me. Get me a plea deal, I'll go back to jail. Once and for all, these people will go away from me. Once and for all, they'll just leave me alone. Once and for all. They've reneged on the first deal they had given me. They lied. They indicted me all over again. You know what? Maybe I have to go back in and I could do another 10 years or so, and they'll just finally leave my family and I alone. But it really wasn't that prominent. More prominent in my mindset was that I figured I was probably going to have to go to trial no matter what to finally put this to bed. And that would have been a great opportunity because I was going to go on the stand in my own defense. And we filed several motions. It's called a motion in limine, which basically was I was going to go on the stand and testify in my own defense, but we were trying to restrict the government's ability to cross-examine me, not to turn me into a pseudo-cooperator, whereas that you would turn around and ask me all these questions, who's this guy, who's that guy, but we wanted to stick to the subject matter of what we were here, the charges against me, my charges, who I was, where I came from, and the charges against me. So the idea was that as I'm being cross-examined by the government, on either we would do it on my direct or my redirect from my attorney would be a simple question, which would probably end up on your direct. We would have laid the foundation down early on when we were cross-examining the lead agent on the case and say, well, tell us about the cooperating process. Well, if a cooperator did a proffer, could he be a member of organized crime? Could he go back to organized crime? And the agents would more than likely say no. He's no longer a member of organized crime. We were going to set that up just like that and have my attorney ask me that question and basically show the jury that I was no longer a member of organized crime. You can't put that label on me, okay? I'm a civilian now. Now the context, the subject matter we'd given him was complete nonsense. It was useless. Nothing. It went nowhere. It could have went nowhere. Only me. We told you a tale, and you had to listen to what I had to tell you. Those were the ground rules to talk to me. I was going to tell you something. You were going to listen to what I had to tell you, and that's that. You couldn't ask me any questions in return. And that's how it played out. And now we're into over 13 years later. Nobody's ever, and I'm proud to say this, as a result of how I conducted myself, comported myself in the courtroom and outside of the courtroom, nobody's ever got hurt as a result of my actions. Ever. By the way I defended myself in the courtroom or anything I've ever done in my life or said in my life outside of the courtroom, no individual ever got hurt as a result of what I've done. And I'm proud of that. What I'm not proud of, what bothers me, is when the United States government tries to twist things. And when I say the United States government, certain individuals will try to twist things to their own agenda. You couldn't get me convicted, you couldn't flip me, and you couldn't get me killed. And as I had said, I showed up every trial, 5 times in less than 3 years. From end to start, 5 times in less than 3 years. And that's what you do? What happened to having respect for your foe? For someone who put up the good fight? What happened to that? Doesn't exist, I guess.